family secret that was exposed during what was supposed to be a happy moment. After years of trying to conceive, I finally accepted that biological children weren't in my future. My husband Tom had held me through countless negative tests and failed treatments. We decided to adopt, and I threw myself into the process with all the hope I had left. My older sister Denise already had 4 perfect children. She never let me forget it either. Every family gathering included comments about how blessed she was and how some people just aren't meant to be mothers. But I pushed through her cruel words because I knew my baby was out there waiting for me. The first adoption agency rejected me after 3 months. They said concerns had been raised about my temperament. I was confused, but figured maybe I'd been too nervous during the interviews. These things happen, right? Tom and I immediately applied to another agency. 6 months later, the second agency declined our application. They specifically mentioned anger management issues that I knew I didn't have. I'd never had anger problems in my life. The social worker seemed genuinely sorry, but said they couldn't move forward given the concerns raised during their background checks. By the third rejection, I was starting to break apart. 5 agencies over 2 years. 5 rejections. Each one mentioned stability concerns, anger issues, or volatile behavior that sounded nothing like me. One agency even asked if I had a criminal record. I'd never even had a speeding ticket. Denise would call after each rejection with her fake concern. Oh honey, maybe it's just not meant to be. Parenting is really hard anyway. You do get stressed so easily. Remember when you yelled at my kids last Christmas? I'd raised my voice once. Her son had deliberately poured juice on my laptop while laughing, but to hear Denise tell it, I'd had a complete meltdown and traumatized her children. Maybe we're just not meant to be parents, Tom said one night as I sobbed into my pillow. The words cut deep because I was starting to believe them. What was wrong with me that every agency found me unfit? We tried international adoption, private adoption, foster to adopt programs. Every single time, mysterious concerns would surface during the final stages. I started to think I was cursed. Everything changed when I met Sandra at a coffee shop near my work. She'd been the social worker from our very first agency. She recognized me and looked deeply uncomfortable. After awkward small talk, she leaned in close. I shouldn't tell you this, she whispered, glancing around nervously, but someone has been calling agencies about you multiple times. They claim to be a concerned family member. My blood turned to ice. What did they say? That you have anger issues, that you've been violent with children. They knew personal details about your life. I thought you deserved to know. That night, I hired a private investigator named Marcus. I emptied my savings to pay his retainer. If someone was destroying my dreams of motherhood, I needed proof. Tom thought I was being paranoid, but I knew someone was behind this. 3 weeks later, Marcus called me. You need to sit down for this, he said. The truth shattered me. Denise had made 23 calls to various adoption agencies over 2 years. She'd posed as a concerned sister, a neighbor, even a former coworker. She told elaborate lies about me throwing furniture, screaming at her children, and having mental breakdowns. Marcus had phone records, recordings from agencies that kept them, and signed statements from workers who remembered the calls. My own sister had systematically destroyed my chances at motherhood because she couldn't stand the thought of me having what she had. Their 20th anniversary party was held at the country club. Denise wore a silver dress and kept talking about how blessed she was. I waited until the speeches started. Then I stood up with my folder of evidence. I have something to say about family, I began, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. For 3 years, I've tried to adopt a child. 23 adoption agencies rejected me. They all said I had anger issues and stability concerns. Denise's face went pale. Her husband Robert looked confused. Imagine my surprise when I discovered someone had been calling these agencies. Someone who claimed to be worried about me. Someone who told lies about violence and mental breakdowns that never happened. I pulled out the phone records. 23 calls, Denise. You made 23 calls to destroy my dreams of being a mother. I have the recordings. I have the evidence. And my lawyer has filed a lawsuit for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The room was dead silent. Robert stared at his wife in horror. Denise, tell me this isn't true. But Denise's guilty face said everything. Robert stood up slowly, his voice breaking. 20 years of marriage, and I never knew I was married to someone who could be this cruel. I want a divorce. That's when Denise started laughing. Full story on channel linked below.